Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
I'll I'm double checking everything's recording. All buttons are pressed. So let's just have a look here. I'm going to share my screen. Hmm. Okay. Can you all see my screen okay? Good. Eloise, I can see you're in the sun. On the beach. Even better, on the beach.
I'm
Okay,
at
well,
a play date with my kids, unfortunately. So sorry.
well done. Even on the beach.
Right. Hi.
Good work. Okay, so Ralph Lauren, um, or Ralph Lauren, as I guess the Americans would say, or Ralph Lauren, or what. We get corrected many times regarding this, but I don't know if you have ever heard us do a talk, but we had the creative director for women's wear, Audrey Schilt. She she was one of our judges, and we did a talk with her, and we featured her in the book. And she's an amazing fashion designer, illustrator, artist. She worked with Holston when he started Holston. She designed with Jackie Kennedy, and we've had her many times helping us out. And I speak to her, and she looks at the work, and she shares our work with lots of people. So Ralph Lauren is quite a good one to do because we've got people with eyes from that department looking at us. So just be aware there's lots of people from that field looking. Um, just to give us a little update, I don't know why it's happening because I have a professional account on Zoom, but if it goes over an hour, like last time, it crashed Zoom and it starts it again. So if anyone has any super Zoom tips to share, I'm always happy to hear Zoom ideas, but I don't know why it did it, and I lost the first half last time. So for safety, I'm going to try and keep within the hour so we can kind of keep our timing. Um, right, so I'm just going to have a quick look here because I can see we've got quite a few, and I'm going to try and race through some of them and if there's any particular ones that you wanted me to see, because usually I select the ones that I think really stand out from your work. But we'll start at Selma. She was probably the last one to enter her work. I don't know if Selma's on here. I can have a look. Yes, Selma's here. Okay. Selma, a really nice piece here. I'm guessing, I'm trying to think if it's mixed media, pencil, paint, and iPad, but it looks like a combination of things. You're going to have to help me, Selma. So I'm trying to. The nice thing is, if I'm unsure, it means you're doing something right. My I don't know. I don't know how critical I should be of stuff. But one thing I remembered with lots of students is if you draw an image with one eye missing, it really used to bug me with students. So Selma, my advice is go back and add that eye in and finish it off. That would be my main feedback to anyone, um, because it might be an error or a mistake. And usually, a lot of fashion designers they tend to not be able to get the proportions correct, and it's a sign of weakness. So that would be a really basic thing. There was two things that fashion designers did. They usually drew one eye, and they usually do these little flicks, and they're really bad habits that fashion designers have. And I know Selma, you're more of an illustrator artist, so I would try to not. I would fix that. So that's a quick thing. I like the idea of the big brush stroke wash and this sort of very sort of cultural top. I think that's really nice. I really liked, I don't know if any of you watched the Ralph Lauren show, but it was really good. And I thought it was really interesting and it was almost like collaging fashion and textiles. So it was a really cool show that happened. And it's hard to see good shows. Most of them are pretty much the same and feel a little bit celebrity driven. But I thought Ralph Lauren seemed to do quite a cool show, and he sort of went back to a few roots and did this sort of multimedia design, and the colors were interesting, and it was very playful and really worked for me. I don't know what anyone else thought, but I thought it was really a great show, and the whole curation of it was really nice as well. So, if you didn't watch the show, you should be watching the shows just to be aware of what's happening in the market and what's going on, because I think that's quite important just to be aware of what's interesting and not interesting. So that was good. Laura, is Laura on here? Yes, Laura, if you, I don't know if you wanted to share anything regarding this piece, any thoughts, or are you staying silent? Some of you stay silent, so you're more than welcome to stay silent. Um, but I see you're mixing typography with this as well on the top. There was I recently, so just to give you another thing to be aware of, is we work quite a lot with Bal Harbour magazines. I don't have a copy of it. They sent me a copy, but they did an illustrated series. Um, and Bal Harbour do pay quite nicely for an editorial piece. Um, in the UK, if you did an editorial, you'd get about £350. And in the States, like if I do the New Yorker, I get $3,500 to do the New Yorker, which is amazing. And if you do Bal Harbour, I think they will pay up to about $1,200 for an editorial. So it's quite a lot in just for editorial work. So be aware because I gave some books. I met the editor of Bal Harbour. She came over and I gave her some books and she commissioned, like she had Richard Haynes. She had quite a few people from the book illustrate in the book. And I did an illustration for them as well. I'll try and share it so you can see. But she is watching and she's always asking me, and they pay nicely and they'll contact you direct. Look her up. Deborah Frank is her name. So try and find her and maybe tag her or share your work with her. So she's really nice. The reason I mentioned it is because this piece reminds me a little bit of the cover. So, Laura, you're sort of on the right pathway. They had this very sort of narrative base, and the illustration was about America. So, what was your experience of America? So, this really encapsulates America. So, Laura, and you'll have to tell me one day how to if I'm saying the right name, Laura, Laura. But I'll keep guessing. Um, Next, Anita. Anita, are you on here? No. So Anita, and I'm just going to keep an eye on my time. We've got plenty of time.
Oh,
Question. Yes. So obviously polo, Ralph Lauren, really famous for the polo top. I think I may have mentioned this a few times. Just be aware of face-on drawings. So I mentioned it to Silky last time. Was about drawing things face on, and Ina and a few of you. It makes it look too still and almost like you've captured them, where I think more of an angled shot could be more interesting. But the rendering is really nice, and I really love the way you've done the watercolors here. Um, it's just here, and you're starting to overdraw. Where here, that shirt is beautiful. The way you've done the shirt is really nice. So just be aware that once you start sometimes doing heads, they become a little bit too flat and they lose that sense of dimension. So just be aware, Anita, with what you're doing. Um, I know here. Let's have a look. I know it's not here, and I'm trying to think if this is a mix of. I think this is done on the iPad. Yeah, I think really captures the sense of Ralph Lauren, captures the essence and the mood. But I think what would have been really cool is you could have illustrated some of the really fantastical pieces. And we had Tracy Smith before illustrate, and she, from doing the live event like this project, like what we're doing now, she's now did some illustrations for the Scaparelli book. Lots of things have come from it. So keep pounding this because it does, people see stuff and they do notice it and good things happen. And I know Vogue is looking at us, Vogue China. So there's a lot of people watching. So keep doing these and sharing them and tagging us. And we try to post not everything. Otherwise, it will seem like we're posting the same people. So we try to be a little bit selective when we post, but really nice. I like the rendering on the jacket. I think that's sort of the knit and the wool and and that check is really cool. So really nice. And I think the jacket is the most interesting piece. Tamio, I don't know if Tamio's here. It's a Monday, so maybe not. Ralph, if you saw the illustration by Audrey Schilt, she done amazing illustration of Ralph Lauren when she was working there. She used to design the collections and then she would draw backstage. And she just had an exhibition at Berghoff Goodman in New York. So I know Eloise, you're there. If you see, I think the show's still up. If not, go and have a look at Audrey Schilt's Instagram. She shares it. So have a look, and she's got some great illustrations of Ralph Lauren. So I would have a look at that. Anna, I think I definitely saw Anna. She's been coming in and out of the.
Hello, hello,
Ah,
it's me.
hi Anna.
Hi.
Is this your first time? I think maybe
Yeah,
first
it
time
is my
taping.
first time. I have this mini portfolio and I decided to submit for Ralph Lauren because I
Ah, oh, good.
got an inspiration.
Good. And I saw this wonderful piece, and I saw you illustrating it, like you tagged us, and I had a good look at it, and I really like sort of the shadows that you were doing and spending the time. A big question that's been coming up to us quite a lot, because we're starting to get more live event people interested in work. Unfortunately, is speed. I don't know how quick you did this, but they would ask how quick could she repeat this, and can you do it faster? And so, if you are doing illustrations that are full figure and potentially could be for a live event or capturing a show, just be aware of your time, how long it took you to do this, because I'm pretty sure it took you more than an hour.
Yes, it did. It did took some time, but I'm trying now to speed up a little bit the process. So, because with figure sketching, I have no problems, but just that I enjoy this process so much and I cannot really um,
Yes,
kind of
but
speed up. And now I
uh,
put timer to
we
really understand the timing.
we had a talk with Richard Haynes, and he said what he used to do is he used to do quick sketches at the show, take them back to the hotel, and then finish them off. So quite a good idea is do some bits, go away, unless you're drawing at a live event and people want them, and you're seeing like Connie Lim and different people like that. They're illustrating at speed, and they get down to like I would say 7 minutes. So you would need to produce this in roughly 7 minutes. So if you imagine you're doing it at 60 minutes, I'd need to get this down to seven. That's how 5 to 7 minutes. That's the speed you're going to have to work just because the live event companies aren't patient enough, and they will want you to produce quite a lot rather than 10 or 6 pieces within an hour. You need to get that down. So a really nice piece, Anna. I had a look and you kind of shared it online. I love the details. As it's your first time, really do lots of these, and it's nice that you're doing longer pieces. Just because I spoke about live events doesn't mean you can't do long ones. Like long drawings are good. It shows attention to detail, and it was nice that you were documenting it as you went along, which I really liked. I thought the documenting is really good. So well done for that, Anna.
Thank you very much.
Good. Kahori, yeah, Kahori's on here. Has gone. Uh, it's funny because we're doing a project with Filson, and Filson I'd never heard of, and it's kind of a very old American brand. And this had really reminded me of Filson. I'd never really heard of them, and then there's a project we're doing, and I don't know if it felt more Filson than Ralph Lauren. It's sort of that cinema. Ralph Lauren is all about cinema, capturing the cowboy and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to. So Kahori, I don't know if you sent any more. I did. I'm not. I'm gonna maybe keep going so I don't go back and forwards. But did you enter any more drawings, or was this the only one?
No, there's another one,
Ah, okay.
another
And
one
it's
with a
in a
horse
similar
and a
style
girl.
to this.
Yes,
Okay, so it's very
it's
cinematic.
brighter.
Okay. And
Mhm.
where did you get the reference for this from?
Um, I didn't have a time enough time to do the research this time because Milano is quite hot, and during my job break time, the only time I got this month to draw for the project, an hour and a half. So I did a quick research and tried to look horse. Uh, that's that's the thing came out this time. I wanted
What
to do that something storytelling this time.
what I would have advised you to do, because this
Mm-hmm.
is quite a nice comprehensive drawing,
Mm-hmm.
is sometimes I have a smaller sketchbook and I have an A5 sketchbook, A6 sketchbook. And what you could have done if you have only a small window of time is do faster, quicker little sketches that could be
Mm-hmm.
really little
Yeah.
and see what that experience is like. Because personally, you've done quite a lot of these sort of like deeper drawings, drawing behind scenes and stuff like that. And I think it might be nice to just switch it on its head, because if it's hot in Milan and you don't have much time, maybe change the approach and
Yeah.
bring some crayons with you, like kids' crayons, and be more playful and give yourself like challenges. Like, when we do life drawing, we might say, let's do a 10-second drawing, a 30-second drawing, 2 minutes drawing. You could do that, so you could have got a lot more done. And I would have gone
Yeah.
on the phone and looked at the Ralph Lauren show, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
they done quick scamps of them drawings. And I
Yeah.
think you could have benefited from that. And you just have a little pencil, a little bit of a crayon or something like that, and just how do you capture color and the essence quicker? And I think you could have done that because you've done this, and I feel like it's because we're doing what we're doing. It's nice to not repeat yourself. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
we gain nothing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
good for you to just keep being risky and being creative, and then try something new. So I think
Yeah.
next time, if you don't have much time, change your process and draw smaller. Go really
I
little.
have I have lots of little sketchbook that I always bring with myself because I have to go to work. It takes 1 hour and a half going and coming back. So I have a little sketchbook, and this month I had an opportunity for the live event illustration, and I I use all of them to practice. Yeah, the
Ah,
small
okay.
small drawing. Yeah, maybe
Okay,
next
but
month.
it would have been nice for anyway. It's good to
Mm-hmm.
hear you getting some live event work, which is good, and it's just good to think. But I think it would have been. I would have liked to see, even if they're just quick little scamps, and you just showed a little series. That would be cool. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
let us see. I want to see you do your little sketches. I want to see them on
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you.
Silky, I saw this just before I came on. A really nice drawing,
Yeah.
and you've gone with colouring pencils, and you're getting sort of, this is like a therapy lab for you now. Is drawing these sort of detailed drawings, and I really like the creases in the jeans. I think that's really worked well, and I'm trying to think, what would I try to do a little bit different? And one thing, when I did my MA at the RCA, one of the things they got us to do, which was like Van Gogh, is draw the same thing 10 times. And it's
Mm,
a really hard challenge. But what it
yes.
gets you to do is you either run out of energy for it, or you change your approach, or you change something in it. And I think because you've done this technique, if you try and draw the same thing, you might start going, okay, let me just change that little bit and let me just do this. And I'm pretty sure that's how David Downton and people like that came up with their little ideas of, okay, I'll knock that eye back, I'll do a line, because he repeats his drawings quite a lot, David Downton. So I think maybe that might happen if you re-repeat the drawings that you're making so it becomes quite taxing,
Mm.
and I think that's a good challenge. And one other one I heard was from a speaker who was talking at Tate Modern, and she said you're not allowed to finish a drawing in a day. And that's a good task because what happens is it means you have to stop and come back to it and then re-look at it. Where a lot of illustrators or fashion illustrators or whatever you want to call ourselves is we try to complete it and it's done in a day and we can move on. Where sometimes you have to say, okay, I'm going to do half and then tomorrow I'm going to do another bit. And it might mean you might change the process of how you approach a drawing. Like I was talking about doing fast drawings. Now I'm talking about slow drawings. And
Mm.
how do you slow down the process? Because sometimes when you're going, I need to get it complete because I've got other stuff to do, it means that illustration is a gap filler where it shouldn't. It should be a process. So just be aware of. I think it would be nice to see you redraw this a few different ways and to see how you could develop it, change it, and find an image that you really like, that you think, this one really resonates with me, and draw it 10 times. And I think you'll challenge yourself a bit harder. And then you might start thinking of things differently. You might say, because in theory, if you were doing this in life drawing, if I was telling you from a life drawing perspective and I was being critical, the arm that is bent is nearer to me than the arm that is near to me.
Mm.
So when you look at it, the body's going like this. So
Mm.
when you're drawing, you have to think about this right arm should be coming towards me, where the denim jeans does do that, but the actual jumper doesn't. The only thing
Mm.
that really comes forward is the New York logo because you put the black around it. But really and truly, the detail in the arm far away has the same detail as the arm that's near. That's created no depth of field. So as a
Mm.
photographer, when we try and create depth of field, the things that are in the foreground are in focus. The things that are in the background need to go out of focus or have less treatment. So you
Mm.
have to change your technique to
Mhm.
give depth of field. Think like that. Think like a photographer. Uh, and a photographer will always try and enhance this piece in the foreground, whether it becomes lighter or darker, but it needs to be changing because the folds are too dark in the arm far away. And I think
Mhm.
that twists the body. So really and truly, you need to twist it back. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a life drawing uh, approach to drawing. Is maybe you need to do a bit more figure drawing rather than
Mm.
textile drawing because you're drawing textiles. We need to draw forms. Drawing sculptures is good. Go to anywhere that's got sculptures and try and draw sculptures because they have form and they have depth. So you'll have to understand depth. But a really nice drawing, Silky, and I'm just trying to be critical so you can take something away.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that. I like that.
yeah, okay.
That's how I learn. Now, I think it's very interesting what you said about draw it 10 times because it's true. It would be a real challenge, and I have already many ideas how to kind of push it also in different directions. So maybe that's actually a good advice, which I will, yeah, which I will do.
Yes, take on the challenge, and I think it's nice, and it means that you really then see a series. And when you have an exhibition, because we think of shows and you go to an art exhibition, they tend to have it about a theme. So, and it's usually the same thing repeated. So I would test that approach, and it's a really
Yeah.
good way. And if you think of like Ed Ruscha, Roy Lichtenstein, people who drew the same thing many times in different ways, who then went into printmaking. That's how you have to think. How would this work? Chuck Close, another great example. Chuck Close, drawing the same thing many times. So think about that approach. Chuck Close
Well,
is a really good one to look
can
at.
you write all the names maybe in the chat? Because then,
Yes,
uh,
I'll write them in the chat as we.
yeah, or later.
Uh,
I mean, or in the channel or something like this.
yes,
But that would be really nice that I can look it up later in, you know.
I'm writing the names in here.
Okay, very good.
Stein, Ed, Roche. Yeah, have a look at them. Repeating process
Okay,
is
cool.
quite a good one. Okay,
Thank,
good,
thank you.
excellent. Eloise, you were next. I saw this. We're starting to get really interesting details here, which is good. And I'm seeing you do lots of things, and I'm trying to reimagine all the things that you're doing because you're becoming super playful. And I'm trying to think, where do you go next? What's your plan?
Well, one exciting. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry, I'm at like a very famous
We
park in
can hear
Brooklyn.
you. We can hear you.
I pored over Ralph Lauren's archives, and I always just because I'm 50 now and I grew up with that, and the Ralph Lauren in New York is such a iconic thing. And I did a bunch of research on him, and it turns out he was like he sold ties. So I just kept thinking menswear the whole time I was doing all this, just absorbing Ralph Lauren. Um, and I love all the like Western aesthetic and all that started coming back into it too. So when I looked at the menswear show that was just, this week or whatever, last week, I love the denim mixed with a little bit of suiting, mixed with this kind of Jonathan Anderson collar. I just thought it was really fresh. It was so preppy, but it was modern feeling, which I don't know if I don't know. They're just iconic at this point. Ralph Lauren as all his brands and as a legacy. So I just thought this look was kind of summed up what I wanted to do. I don't know, but the last exciting thing is I got a couple of my paper dolls are going to be in a big show at FIT this fall, and I get to do a workshop in relation to the exhibition. So that's like one good thing that happened that these kind of paper doll illustrations are gonna get shown. So that I'm excited about that.
And have you thought of, because I know you did in your past works or in your commercial work, is you made big paper shop stuff for window displays.
Yes.
Have you done any of your characters big?
No, but I have one planned. I have one that I like mapped out. She's about 2.5, 3 feet. But it's interesting you say that because that's what I thought. Maybe I should start to play with scale.
Yes, 100%. And you could photocopy some of it. It doesn't always have to be drawn. Like the face, if you draw it a bit smaller, then you blow it up
Right?
onto really nice paper.
Oh, that's an idea. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it might speed up the process so
Yep.
you can think commercially, how could you do stuff? And I'd love to see these bigger. And how do you like? I was looking at gorillas quite a lot as well. So if you're looking at what Jamie Hewlett's doing for the gorillas,
Okay.
he's really mixing collage, drawing, and real life spaces. And I think it would be really nice to see how does your character interact with the real world? Because at the moment it's always on a plain background. Where if it's bigger and you had scale,
Yep.
I think that sort of mix of the two is really difficult because they seem to not they fight against each other. But look at Jamie Hewlett, who does the
Okay.
gorillas.
Okay.
He's wonderful for that sort of mixing of drawing, illustration, and real time. And I think
Okay.
we need a bit of that because I think these have got lots of potential. But I'm trying to imagine as well for you where are they going to go? And I know Richard Haynes did a big piece for Hermes where he
Yes.
illustrated some of the figures, Todd's as well. So look at Todd's, they use a lot of illustration. Look at them brands and think, if I was to do something, where would my work fit into that scale? And I think once you've got scale, people can start going, she could go back and do store design from an illustration point of view rather than just paper mechanics as decoration. It's more of you're the main protagonist in the work. And I think that's what you need to kind of bring back because you've got all these little skills that together with this, I think could bring back a bit of a new fire to what you're doing.
Thank you, Patrick. That's great advice. Thank you.
Good. Eloise,
Thank
good. Well
you.
done for coming as well, because I know you're
I
sending
know.
on
Sorry,
holiday.
I'm mom today. School's out, so I'm juggling. It's hard.
That,
But
that's
thank you.
that's good.
Everybody
That's
did a beautiful job. I thought everything I looked at was you all did. It was a beautiful Ralph Lauren group this year or this month. Sorry. Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, Eloise. And here's another. I really like this one. Ina. Ina's here as well.
Right.
Ina. I saw Ina. There you are.
You're right.
Ina, a different approach this time, and I'm trying to think of your mindset. But I really love the way you've drawn it. It has a little bit of David Hockney feeling. Funny that unfortunately he died recently, but the way you've drawn the tie and the top reminds me of some of the David Hockney etchings and sketches, his early work when he was at the RCA, and and the way you've drawn like the pinstripe on the shirt, on the sleeve, it's almost very loose and very spontaneous, and it gives me a sense of David Hockney, and it's really nice, it's almost anti-drawing, which I love. I love this anti-drawing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a real good approach because we worry too much of making things perfect and beautiful.
Overdrawing
Yes, and
all
I
the
think
time.
it's less about decoration and more about making the marks, doing the drawing, and getting through the work. And I think there's something really nice going here, and really look at early David Hockney work, his early work, the men in the showers, things
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
you could get some great pieces from that. But lovely, and I love the combination of techniques and styles. It
Mhm.
really works well, and putting on this, and the red seems to work.
Somehow,
It
yes.
it seems to work, and it sort of frames it nicely. So it's a really good way of framing work, and that's quite a big thing when you get commissioned for jobs.
Mhm.
Commissioners like to know how could your work be framed on a page so that they can put typography with it and stuff like that. So they like to see this. Commissioners love to see how
Like
does
the
your work
idea for
frame.
the tutorial. Yeah.
Good, really nice, Ina. And I think you had a few of these are great. Like this top right one is stunning. I really like this one on the bottom left. The mark making is really nice. You've actually done this. This one here I love. This one here I love. They're my two favorite because they're the not so obvious,
Hmm.
and they feel a little bit more expressive. Um, I don't know if you know the work of Chris of Philly,
No, no,
right?
not
And
yet.
another name for the chat,
Christoph Philly.
Chris of Philly.
No, I have to check out.
Have a look at his work, but
Mhm.
your piece up here is really reminiscent of Chris of Philly, the artist. But really nice. And this is fabulous. I really
It's
love
so
it.
simple, but somehow it's cute.
It really is. There's something mysterious about it,
Mm.
and I really like, and I love them little red lips, and you allowing the face, the profile to bleed, because the other ones like this feels like Ina's work.
Yeah.
I can see Ina, but then this one there's something courageous about it,
Mm.
and
Mm.
people love to see courage.
Mhm.
Uh, it may not get you loads of commercial work, but I think artistically it's really nice, and you'll get a different caliber of work from it. So, Ina, this one's lovely, and This one here is a
Hmm.
move on from here. I think this
Yeah.
feels like Ina work. Then this one, I think this is really fashion illustration, and then this one's art. Yeah,
Hmm.
so there's sort of a
I have
little
everything in
mix.
the palette.
Yeah, which is nice to see. So there's and that sort of combination is quite nice. It almost feels like a little exhibition of how
Yeah,
you could stage it on a
true.
wall.
Hmm.
Great, Ina, excellent, an excellent collection of work. Tamio, I saw Tamio come and go. I don't know if she's come back.
Hi,
She
I'm here. Sorry.
Tamio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was a bit late.
we were talking earlier because you had your earlier piece, and I was saying about the drawings of Audrey Schilt, who illustrated Ralph Lauren as well. You've captured these really nice little illustration drawings of the characters, and I think they're quite fast and nice, and there's a nice balance here. I think you seem to have got the balance good. And I think that's quite hard because sometimes I'm wondering, is it overdrawn? Is it under illustrated? And I think here you've got the balance correct. I still would like you to draw the backgrounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I need to work a bit more on that as
yeah,
well.
the backgrounds because you're capturing the character, but now I need to know the location. And that was a big bit of feedback we got from Poppy Waddy Love. Poppy Waddy Love, she said a lot of magazines and people said we really want to see things in their spaces, and her work increased because of that feedback. So it's a good bit of feedback for everybody is don't just illustrate things in empty spaces, think of the environment. And that was a really big, that was Italia Vogue mentioned it. She'd said lots of people mentioned it. So just be aware, I think Tamio, background. I think I've mentioned it many
Okay.
times. So
Yeah,
let's
actually, yeah, you
let's
did.
get this feedback down. You mentioned you
Okay,
won't
thank
do
you.
that. Ina, write down the names. Yeah, Christopher Philly, could you write down the names? So I'm reading the chat as well. David, help me. Okay. Laura, lovely. And I think you animated this one, Laura. I think if I'm correct, I saw some sort of
Yes, yes.
animations. So it's good to see here. And it's good to hear your voice. Am I correct with your
Sorry,
name?
my English is not very good.
That's okay, but how do I pronounce your name?
Laura.
Not too bad.
No, not bad, not bad.
Laura, I was nearly
Laura.
there. Good, and I think this works really well. And if you can try and tag Bal Harbour shops because you're really on the level of work that they like. That's sort of very
Okay,
commercial. It captures all the essence of the objects. They had a cover illustration, and I think
okay.
you've got this really storytelling approach to illustration. So I think they would really like your work. Keep sharing it, and they keep seeing it. We'll post this up as well. So a really nice piece. And are you doing
Thank you.
this? Is this mixed medium or is this just on iPad?
It's on iPad. Yes,
Nice.
Procreate. It's only on Procreate.
Good. The way you've drawn the bag and the hat and all these little objects, they love stuff like this. So
Thank you.
very commercial and really nice. So Laura, excellent. Well done.
Thank you. Can you write me the name of the magazine?
Yes. I'll put it in
Thank
the
you.
chat.
Thank you.
I came out here. Kahori. Kahori. Are you still here, Kahori? This one's lovely.
Thank you.
I didn't see this one, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So you kind of read my mind without reading it.
In
Th- This,
advance.
this is exactly what I was talking about, and I hadn't even seen this. This is
Mm.
perfect.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so
Good to
lots of this. This is fast and furious and playful and exactly what people want to see. So
mm.
do lots of this. This is perfect. I
For
much
next month.
I much prefer to see this because it feels contemporary than drawing something that feels staged and old school. I want it to feel, you got to feel modern. We have, if we don't feel modern, you won't get new work.
Of course.
All right, good. Uh,
Thank you.
Next, Tamio, another illustration of Ralph. This one's really nice, and I'm trying. There's a female artist who's got an exhibition on. Um, I'm trying to remember her name. Jonathan Anderson uses her work quite a lot. She's got an exhibition on in the UK, and your drawing is starting to get a little bit of that feeling. There's something quite interesting about this drawing. The mark making on the arms and the detailing is really nice, and I really like this. I can't remember the name of the person, but I'll try and remember by the end.
Okay, I'll try and check it later then.
But it's Jonathan Anderson posts her work a little bit. She's quite an old painter, and she had a really big exhibition, I think, at the Serpentine. But I'll try and remember as I'm talking. But I'll if I remember it, I'll stick it in the chat.
Okay, thank
But
you.
really, this is lovely, 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 lovely. Iris, something different.
Hi, yes.
You did collage, which is nice. Is this original collage or is it Photoshop collage?
It's mostly real magazine scraps.
Ah, nice, good. And I was talking about your work to the editor of Bal Harbour, and I was explaining, your story about uh, stitching your work and stuff like that, and she was really fascinated because I had a meeting with them this week, and I was getting her to look at your work because they
Wow.
they were trying to understand what I was talking about. That illustration can be more because we're going to help them promote the awards again, and they give quite good money. I think it's about $3,500. So everybody should try and enter, and we try and promote it and help them. So it's a really good awards. The Bal Harbour last year, Bar Percy won it, which was really nice, and I think Iris, it would be good to see you entering and doing some of your embroidery, and I think just as a tip, because I kind of mentioned you to her. But regarding this collage, I really like this. I'm trying to. I like the white cut out edge, and I'm trying to think what would it look like without it. Did you try it without it first, or you did it on white and then you cut it out after?
The problem is I never think about the background. So I did the character and then I had a problem matching the colors to the background. So I thought it was originally on white. So I thought maybe I'll just cut it out and put some background. I didn't have time. I started only yesterday night, and today in the morning I started Photoshop and Procreate to fix little bugs, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I just had to do it, but I liked usually I wouldn't cut it like in a rough way like this, but this time because it's a man and it's men's fashion and yeah, I felt it goes with the vibe of the outfit.
Yes, what I would like to see you try, especially with collage, there's a really good collage artist at the moment, Alice Isaacs. I'll put her in the chat as well.
Yes.
Um, Alice Isaacs, and Quinton Jones.
Patrick, you think I should have continued with with the thread art or changed the name?
150,000%.
On my artistic, personal, professional life, I do
Ev
only this. But for
Everything, because I think it's only through continually doing it that it gets recognition. Once you run out of energy, it's a difficult one. I've done work and I get commissioned, and I'm like, oh, how did you see this? And it's work that I did 5 years ago.
no, I still do every day, every time the thread art, but only for the fashion for Fida for the fashion review. I thought maybe this time I would, like try something else.
Yeah, no,
But
no, no. You did the right thing. I think it's nice that you experimented and tried something new. The only thing I was going to say here was I would like you to play a bit more with proportion. And I remember when I was doing some collage work, is how do you think about proportion in a different way? So this approach that you're using with collage, um, because you can be more abstract and more playful, it doesn't have to feel so real. Yes, it could you could really distort things and make bigger shoulders and the bag
yeah,
could be different and
yeah,
the legs could be longer and I think you could really extend it like start here and then move it into something new and think like Matisse ripping pieces of paper and cutting and
I just saw his
collaging.
exhibition in Paris. I was blown away.
Yes, and it's only through that sort of cutting and not planning that you do something quite interesting with collage. So I would this is a good starting point, but I think it's always good to move away from something that feels too like normal because what I see when I see this sometimes is a lot of people use Illustrator to do vector artworks because they're flat and they do masking and they do clipping masks. They use all of these tricks in Photoshop, but when you start really going crazy with your cutting, that's when you it feels more original. And I think that's the big thing we have to think about when we're doing work, especially with AI in the world of today. We have to be original. Otherwise, AI can do everything now. Like if I type in create this illustration, it can do it. So we really have to fight our way against it by being different and being alternative and being playful. So I think like your stitching work, there's no AI creating stitching work like yours. There's no AI that's going to create radical collage. So think a bit more different. And I would like to see you push this now into a new space and be experimental with it because you've done collage before really early on and I really liked it. I don't know if you remember in the first few times you did it, you did these like simple flat graphic drawings, which were really nice, Iris. So I think let's get hit back to that and make sure you do more. Is that good?
Oh, very good. You're very right.
Good,
Very.
excellent. I'm just aware of time because I don't want to miss anybody. So Laura, I've done.
But
Let me
Patrick, just a
see.
question. There is something I didn't understand at the beginning. You said something about the contest.
Yes, it will be coming up. There's a contest coming up with Bal Harbour Shops. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it, and I'll probably get in trouble now. But it's coming up. We usually do it in September, August, September.
Okay. So
At,
I'll write.
but I'll share it online. There's nothing to hide, and it's $3,500, so it's good money.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I think I have I seen I can see Kahori here. Ina, these were the little drawings we just looked at. Have I missed anyone? No, 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 no. Eloise, I saw this one while you were running around. Ah, good. So I think I may have done everyone just in time with 5 minutes spare. And I don't want to lose anything because last time it wiped the beginning. Yeah, so Bal Harbour. It's a luxury mall in the US in Miami. So we'll keep an eye out for that. You should all enter. But well done, everyone. Great work. Thank you for coming. And I can see some of you on holiday and some of you doing other stuff. But well done and thank you. And I know, I hopefully it wasn't too bad that it was on a Monday, is because Thursday I have to do something. So have a good evening. And we've got nice weather like you in the US for once, some nice sun. So thanks everybody, and I'll speak to you soon and have a good evening. And I'll post it online. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Buona serata.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Grazie.